Yeah. Welcome back,
Yeah.
folks. Episode 43 of the Wrinkled Podcast, where you either grow or lose your wrinkles. So we'll see how you feel by the end of the episode. It's an ebb and flow. It's like a sine cosine graph. You're gonna gain some, and then halfway through you're gonna lose some more. So we're gonna leave you balanced, as all things should be.
Constant cycle of growing and losing brain.
Exactly. It's like life. You make mistakes. You got to learn. You got to lose some wrinkles to gain some more.
Unfortunately.
So if you, for the rest of your life, could have an itch that you couldn't scratch or a craving you could never satiate, which would you rather have? And you can pick where the itch is.
That sounds awful. I'd rather do the craving.
And this is a craving for anything. This doesn't have to be like it could be like a food or a beverage or like a treat or something. Just something you could never partake in that craving ever again, but it's constantly there. So after every meal, you're craving that thing.
Yeah, but think about it though, like an itch, Like
well, it could be like
on the bottom of your foot that you just like can't, like no matter how much you get into it, you just can't stop it.
Well, you can pick where the itch is.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Imagine the worst of that. At least the craving is like, okay, well, I can like go substitute, like, oh, I'm craving chocolate milk. It's like, okay, I can have chocolate milk. I just won't be satiated from it, right? Like, I won't have
you can't have
satisfaction. Oh, it's gone completely?
Yeah, like you crave this thing and you're not allowed to have it.
Oh, what if, do I get to pick what the craving is?
Sure.
Oh.
But like whatever it is, it's constantly there. So it's just like the itch. So the itch is always there and the craving is always there. No matter what you eat, there's always that thing you crave and you're like, I want to eat it.
The itch sounds awful, man. I'm not going to lie to you. That sounds like fucking horse shit.
Yeah.
Because like, imagine it's somewhere that you can't really get to that easily either. Like you said, you can pick it, but still.
Like that itch on the inside of your ear.
Yeah. Oh, dude. No. Give me the craving, man. You kidding me? Ain't no way.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way. Like a bad itch, man. It's god awful.
It's nightmarish.
Oh man.
Like I said, you get like the one like on the bottom. That's the worst one to me. Is the one like right on the ball of your foot. And like you're trying to do everything to like scratch it, just won't.
While you're driving. Oh. I had it the other day and I was kicking the bottom of the car. I was like kicking it while I was driving. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I got an itch. I was like, I don't want us to crash. So I was just like hammering my foot against the floor.
Yeah. Because like at least the craving, right? It's like, oh, I want like this fancy 1,200 layer cake from this fancy restaurant somewhere. Yeah. It's like, okay, I know I'm never going to be able to get that. I'm like, I'm okay with that.
But imagine the worst version of that. Like, oh, I want... the rotisserie $5 chicken from Costco. Very easy to get. And I'll never have it again. Or I want, golden grams or coffee.
It would be different if you couldn't pick where the itch was and what the craving was. I feel like this would be a different argument, but the fact that you could pick both and like an itch, like I know how annoying an itch is. I'm like,
yeah,
That's
fair. Yeah. Oh yeah. If you couldn't pick, like, if the craving was coffee for me, dude, I don't know. I think I'd take the itch.
That's what I imagine. Imagine the luck of that roll.
Ugh. Yeah, that'd be. Have you seen those videos where it's the genie and it's like, what if I wish for $1 million? The genie's always gotta. Oh, you'll have $1 million, but you lose your arms and legs. It's like the monkey paw situation.
The monkey's paw, yeah.
I've got a watermelon lime, not sponsored by Olipop. It's a probiotic soda. It's got, dude, this thing has 9 grams of fiber.
I heard in Canada they don't market it like that because it's not real. And Canada's laws are stricter on what can be marketed as like health drinks, apparently.
Even if it doesn't have probiotics, it still has 9 grams of fiber.
That's true.
Getting your fiber in is like kind of hard if you don't have easy access.
I literally keep these on my desk. I take fiber supplements.
Like you can get it in fruit and whatnot, but again, day to day busy, you don't always think about it, so it's nice to just be able to grab one and
Yeah.
Hey, there's 9 grams right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's good, man. They're really good. So,
Did you?
no, go ahead.
I would say, did you see the Joker 2?
I didn't. I hear terrible things.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
it's not doing well. It has like one of the worst openings for a movie like this in a long time.
Yeah, I
Because
think
people
it's at like
forget
20 million.
something like that.
Yeah.
And Megalopolis was like a couple weeks ago too, and that is just performing horribly as well.
Okay, what
Which
is that?
is that's the one that the guy who made The Godfather. I can't remember his name. The
Oh.
director's name.
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola. He that's his new movie that he was pushing.
Okay.
It had like $120 million budget. It's got like Adam Driver, a couple other big like names in it. So
Dude,
that was expected to be like
act. Holy. Like I know he
Marriage
gets
Story,
clowned on for Kylo,
you know?
but my God, the dude can act.
Absolutely solid guy. But yeah, it's apparently just terrible opening, and but this is something I wanted to talk about. Right, the first movie had like a $50 million budget, I believe, and it grossed over $1 billion. You know, so no matter what was going to happen, this thing was already greenlit for a sequel. As soon as it hit like the $250 million mark of profit, it was already greenlit for a sequel.
Right.
You know, and I know Todd Phillips was. I don't know if he was like hesitant or if he just kind of wanted to do 2 and be done with it or something like that. But obviously, this is the last of like the Joker series that we've with Joaquin Phoenix that we've come to enjoy. I really love the first film. That's a movie I watched like 3 times in the theater. I loved it.
It is,
you know,
immaculate. The score with
the soundtrack.
Dude, that moment where it reveals that it's all been in his head, that's like a top 5 movie moment for me. Like, and it makes so much sense. Like, man, it's so good.
Yeah. Zazie Beetz, she's fantastic in that. You know, I like the Arthur Wayne, you like stand-in. You know, I like his delusion is like feeding him into like, oh, this could be my dad potentially. You know, it's like it's such a sick fucking movie, man. But it's so good too. And I think her name, the composer Hildur, I don't want to butcher it. I think it's pronounced like Guanadaughter or Guanadodir or something like that. Fucking fantastic. That was probably the best soundtrack of that year, in my opinion.
It's those
that
harsh,
shit was
not
so
harsh.
good.
What is it? Violin. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's those harsh violin that boom, boom, like that intro to songs is yeah, dude. The first one is incredible. I've heard that the second one, the musical parts really killed it. They didn't feel. I've heard that they didn't add enough content to the movie, like enough story building. It seemed like the musical parts were just there for the sake of musical parts. It wasn't driving any sort of progression.
I mean, and that's the thing though, right? Like we already know from the first movie that, you know, Arthur Fleck is an unreliable narrator. You know what I'm saying? So everything that we've seen in the first movie, we know that he cannot be trusted to tell us the true story. You know, the absolute 100% truth. So something like that, like, and even in the first movie, he says that like his mom always said he had the music in him. You know, like I remember that being like one of the things from that movie. And I'm wondering, obviously, I haven't seen it. Honestly, I don't know if I plan to, if I'm being honest. It's so fucked up, man, because I love Lady Gaga and I love Joaquin Phoenix. So I'm like, this would be like a match made in heaven for me, you know. But I'm just, from what I'm hearing, and luckily I've been spoiler free, but it just sounds disappointing as fuck, man.
Yeah.
You know,
this is also one of those cases. I don't know if I'll see it in theater. I'll definitely watch it, you know, if it comes to streaming.
Probably, yeah.
Dude, what was it? Venom had like a 30 critic score and the audience to like 80.
Yeah.
So almost every movie I'm going to be like, okay, there's got to be a grain of salt with this.
Yeah, I don't think I'll like hate it. You know what I'm saying? Right. I just don't think it lives up to what I wanted.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Well, the first one set the bar so high. It
didn't
film. Need a sequel.
No,
it didn't. So, like I said, they ended it perfectly. That's
I
that
I know
sucks.
the audience score is a little higher for this film
Mhm.
compared to the critic score, but still though, like, you know, are we still having to make this argument in 2024? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, can a critic enjoy a movie? Can a just a regular watcher enjoy a movie? You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah, of course. Um, and
Yeah.
this is why I hate the score argument for movies and TV shows and games and shit like that, right? Because to me, a 10 is a perfect game
Yep.
or a perfect show or a perfect movie. You know what I'm saying? Like Baldur's Gate 3 is a 10. True
Yep.
Detective Season 1 is a 10. You know, Dune 2 is a 10.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like those are, to me, to my taste, to my enjoyment of those medias, those are 10s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's hard to be like, when you get something like, obviously, like IGN is notorious for giving out like sevens and eights. You know what I'm saying? That's like their whole shtick, right? But I'm like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, why does it matter? Either you watch it or you don't. Like,
You
I'm just
know,
looking because I wanted to watch the movie.
I don't listen to IGN a whole lot just because I know they're so unreliable and their scoring is so wacky. But what was it? Oh, the PS5 Pro announcement.
Mm.
They dug into it, and I went, okay, maybe they're not hopeless because
No.
they went hard. They're like, this is ridiculous. Because there's always that kind of back of your head thing, like, okay, this big corporation, are they being thrown money to give this game an 8? You know, to influence, because IGN, they have a huge influence over watchers.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's always that thought, like, I hope not. And then there's the little glimmer of hope, like, oh, okay, you do have your own opinions. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's, again, it's just it's an interesting, I don't even really want to call it an argument, but it's an interesting like take, right? Because like the one that I remember being pretty recent was PC Gamer with Star Wars Outlaws and Space Marine 2, and they ended up giving Star Wars Outlaws a better score, you know, compared to
No.
Space Marine 2.
I think that was Black Myth Wukong.
Well, that one was different.
Oh, actually, I think you're right on both. Yeah. No, they
Yeah,
gave it, yeah, yep. It was better on
because
both
they
ends.
ended up
That's
giving
right.
Space Marine like a 60 out of 100, I think, or something like that, and then they gave like Outlaws like a 78 or something like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know who wrote the reviews, but I imagine they're different people, you know.
Yeah.
And like people, like you see people in the comments like, oh fucking, it's got to be, this got to be a troll, right? You got to be joking and this and that, you know. And I'm like, but if you give a game to a reviewer and they go, yeah, I like this game, but I don't really see myself investing a lot of time in it. It's like, yeah, I could give it a 60. I'm like, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, like
like
I
there's
think
always
people,
this weird like sub agenda that people think these reviewers have. You know what I'm saying? Um, like the one about Black Myth Wukong, and the lady was like, "Well, the game just doesn't have a lot of diversity." You know, but if you read the article instead of just the footnote at the very end, it says, "Well, it's missing a lot of the characters, especially the women characters that take up most of the story in the actual
Journey
Wukong."
to the
Like,
West.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like it's just missing a lot of that. I'm like, okay, that's an understandable complaint.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But obviously, with things being politically charged like they are nowadays, you know, you can't say that in a review and expect people to take it at anything other than face value.
Yeah, they're gonna grab that and say, "Oh, what do you want to be able to have, like a pink-haired monkey or something?" Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's the issue. And they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They know what they're doing when they write these articles. You know, it's
Dude,
the same thing with
it's not even these
Assassin's Creed.
reviewers. Like, oh, Shadows,
Yes.
dude.
Because I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if you saw what like I. So it's the director of Ubisoft, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said that gamers have turned into like despicable people or something like that, right? And then and obviously that's the headline, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
headline they push because they know what they're doing. You know,
Yep.
when this guy gets interviewed about his position in the company and what he thinks about it, the first thing he's going to say is like, "Well, let's try to blame it on somebody else." You know, but if you read his title, he's a monetization director. His whole goal is to make
Money.
shitty
Yeah.
microtransactions. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why would I listen to anything this fucking shithead has to say?
Yeah.
You
And
know?
dude, it's crazy when you read the titles of the articles and then they throw the actual quote 10
Mhm.
pages down. You're like, That quote does not throw off the same tone as your title, but you
No.
know your title like grabs attention.
Exactly.
Dude, it's not even like these reviewers. You know Asmongold. Every clip I've seen of him lately has been a rage bait, and it was Ghost of Yote, the Ghost of Tsushima sequel. And he's like, "Oh, what is this? Why can't I play as Jim?" Blah, blah. And it was like 5 minutes of that. But then at the end of it, it's like the switch turned off for the character. And he went, "Still, though, I'm going to play it. It looks pretty good." Like, I'm not, passing any early judgments. I'm like, you just went on a 10-minute rant judging every single shot of
Gotta
this.
Get those clicks, man.
Yeah.
You
Oh, man, you can't trust anything now. It's crazy.
God damn it. I'm looking for the article.
I'm not sure if you saw, apparently Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I think could really help sales, is they're introducing a co-op mode.
I didn't see that.
Yesterday or the day before. And I was thinking, could you imagine if you could play through the entire game co-op with someone? Like one of you is Yasuke. Yeah. What's her name? The shinobi?
I have no clue.
Is it Atsu? Or is that the lady from Ghosts of Yote?
I have no clue.
That might be from Ghosts of Yote. Anyway, I think that would be so cool. Like one of you's this big tank samurai and the other one's like a ninja darting, in the dark and taking out people.
Well, they had it for Unity. They had the 4-player co-op. That was pretty solid.
I liked the idea. That's why I got Unity. But it was just garbage at launch.
Oh, I still remember it was
so buggy.
The eyeball, just the 2 eyeballs in the mouth and like an empty face, and like 1, terrifying, 2, I want to play like that for the entire game, please.
Yeah. Now I'm sure there's mods that do just that.
Probably.
Make every character the eyeball mod. Yeah. And then there was another Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake.
Remake, yes. Saw that. Scheduled for, I believe, like a fall 25. But now with Shadows being pushed back to February of next year, I think that's going to get pushed back because of that.
I don't know. They've got to be different teams.
Potentially.
Well, actually, Ubisoft probably isn't, because a lot of different studios usually do the remakes, right?
Well, Ubisoft was hands-on for the Far Cry 3 classic remake and then the Assassin's Creed 3 classic remake.
Yeah,
so I don't think I don't think they're pushing off those to like different companies. I think they're staying in-house for that,
Honestly, all they have to do is make that look good. That game is still fun today.
Oh, absolutely. I just replayed it like a couple years ago. I'm like, still solid.
Yep. So you just make it look good. Don't change anything. It's fine. And yeah, that'll sell like hotcakes.
I still love that quote, man, with Blackbeard, where they're getting spoilers for a 11-year-old game. It's that scene with Blackbeard and they're on the boat and they're getting attacked, right, by I can't remember who's attacking them, but he's like going out and he's like shooting people and he's like coming with the sword and they stab him and he says to Edward, he's like, "In a world without gold, we would be heroes." And I'm like, that's some real shit, man. It's the temptation of like the constant need for like gold, but I'm like, imagine that, right? A world without gold, what could you be?
Interesting.
I'm like, that's some real shit. Would you still be a pirate if you weren't stealing gold?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of pirating, is just taking what you actually, taking the things you want. Or if that wasn't even an option.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Great quote. But to be fair, here's my theory on that shit. If they release that game, if Black Flag never came out, they released that game today, that people will call that shit woke.
Probably. Because I don't remember her name.
Not Billy the Kid. You want to say
no?
Kid,
I think that's his name, Billy.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the chick who pretends to be a guy for the entire campaign.
Yeah.
And I think it's because obviously it's easier to be a pirate if you're a guy.
Yeah.
It's like what's her name did in Pirates of the Caribbean, like the 3rd or 4th movie. She puts her hair up and like pretends to be one of the crew.
What's her name? Elizabeth Shaw.
Elizabeth Swan.
Swan. There you go.
Yeah.
Shaw's from Prometheus.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, great! I love Prometheus. Great movie. I know people hate it. I love it.
Have you seen Romulus? You haven't seen Romulus yet, huh?
That's the newest one, right?
Yeah.
No, but I hear it's immaculate.
So that's the thing, right? I wasn't big on the first. I wasn't big on Prometheus, and I wasn't big on Covenant, even though I enjoyed them as films, right? But as somebody who loves the Alien franchise, I just wasn't big on them. Watching Romulus and how it wraps everything into like a nice big, like, okay, this is how we're doing it. Okay, I'm way more sold on those movies now that I've seen Romulus.
Interesting.
Because it gives us a good explanation, because the argument that people constantly have for these is like, well, they just look like aliens anyways, and they're not wrong, you know. But when you see there's a couple scenes in Romulus that kind of connect everything, you go, oh, okay, I understand now.
Yeah.
All this makes sense. So
I enjoy Covenant just because for me, I don't view that as an alien movie. That's a David movie. Michael Fassbender carries that entire film. He is so good.
Yeah.
I don't
that
even
scene. I remember seeing that in theaters, and that scene where they're playing. He's playing the flute. He's holding it for him. Like, dude, that shit is impressive, man.
Yeah.
Fassbender just like carries the shit.
Dude, he is amazing. And I love the differences, and again, seeing them play the flute, that's really cool and how they're interacting, but the total differences, they're both playing robots. But you can see how drastically different they are. Like the one
Actually, they're playing androids, not robots.
Yeah, fair enough.
I know. I gotta be that guy.
Hey, listen. That's right. This isn't Terminator. This is, they've got
those are
fluids
also those are also cyborgs.
I mean, that's not true. The normal Terminators, like the non-human skinned ones, those are just they're robots.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I was gonna say he's got a neural net processor, man.
Yeah. That if you went back and said that like 20 years ago, neural net processor, that sounds like one of those. That sounds like a techie buzzword. Like during a presentation, like it's got a neural net processor. Wow.
It's got the neural net processor.
Oh God.
It's like when people were saying, like, everybody was talking about the cloud, from like 2008 to like 2018. It was always the cloud. You're going to be able to store your saves in the cloud.
These days it's AI.
Yes.
Yep. Enhanced AI capability. Wow.
I know. Like,
all right.
I know the new iOS, was it iOS 18 or something like that? 16 or something, whatever. Siri's got integrated with ChatGPT now. I'm like, how useless is that?
Should probably be quicker. That was always my issue with Siri, is it wasn't quick enough. ChatGPT is quick. Siri's fast, but it reminds me of internet. When you have fast internet, but it's delayed by half a second, it is the most infuriating thing. Like, plow my head through the monitor. Slow internet is the one thing that's like, I just throw everything, flip the table. Like, come on.
Sure.
And that's how it is with Siri. Like, dude, I just asked what the weather is. Like, I have an app on this phone. You should know.
I know. I'm too old school for that shit, man. I don't like talking to my phone.
Yeah.
Like I like opening up if I want to check the weather, I'm opening up the app for it. I don't really do like the text to talk or talk to text shit often. Like I was in the car or something. I'm like, it's like, I like my technology when I know how it works.
It feels like it's just not at a point to where it's advanced enough to be truly convenient.
Yeah.
Now, if the phone was like just always on and I could just look at it and be like, text, Hunter, and say this. No, hey, this, or no, Siri, this, or it just picked it all up, did it for me,
exactly.
and sent it.
Worrying about the dictation.
Yeah. If it was perfect,
that's the ultimate dream.
Yeah.
But it is not. So that's why I refuse to be that that guy on the sub. It's like, hey Siri. It's like, no, shut up, get out of here.
Yeah. Like in the time you could say, hey Siri, what is this? Blah blah blah. You could just type it into Google.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep. I hear you. I don't know, man. But I'm psyched. Like I said, we've got Sparking Zero in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Sparking Zero. We got.
It's gonna be so good.
The 10-year anniversary of Interstellar.
December
coming
7th,
out.
I believe.
Yeah, in theaters in December.
Dude,
Next
we gotta
month.
watch that.
What is it? November 7th, I think, is the 70th anniversary of Godzilla.
Ooh.
So
I bet they'll throw something in theaters for that.
well, they just put on the first 3 Heisei Air movies onto Max. So 1984 Return of Godzilla, 89's Godzilla vs. Biollante, 91's Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. So, and they usually do they usually do like a couple like quick little 5-10 minute things for the anniversaries. So like a couple years ago they did Godzilla vs. Ghidorah. And then last year they did the Son of Godzilla versus Gigan.
Gigan.
Yeah, it's the one with the chainsaw arms.
Yep. I always went off the GameCube Godzilla game, and it would always say the character. God damn. You know, when you select them, I'm like, that's all of my Godzilla knowledge before the movies was like that game. Like, oh, do you know this character?
Game,
yeah, it is. Dude, you'd hit your opponent with the drill with that one character and spin him up in the air. I'm like, oh my God. What a great game, man. I love it.
That's why I'm so surprised we have not, like, there was a big tease like a couple months ago. It's like, oh, new Godzilla Kong game apparently, right? Not the shitty one like that came out earlier in the year or late.
Yeah, Kong. It was by that studio, that Sawmill or something.
Yeah. Or Game Mill. Yeah, that's what.
There we go.
And I was like, oh shit, the cool. They're gonna announce a new like Godzilla or King Kong game or something like that. And it's like another like 2.5D platformer.
Yeah, it's like a side scroller.
I'm just like,
yeah.
You motherfuckers, man.
It could be cool, but it's not what people want.
No.
We want.
And if you're gonna do something like that,
fighter.
like I'd rather just play Shadow Complex if we're gonna do like a sick ass 2.5D game, you know.
What is that? Shadow Complex.
It was one of the Xbox Live Arcade games, and it was kind of like a Metroidvania style game.
Okay,
so you're progressing, you're getting upgrades, you're going back to unlock new areas, new zones you haven't been to yet, new bosses and stuff, and then you're just kind of going back and forth until you beat the game.
Hell.
But I'm like, what? Just give us a Godzilla brawler.
Yep. Like Unreal Engine 5. I want that shit to look amazing and just. Again, you don't have to innovate. You don't have to change a lot. Like, again, Space Marine 2. It changed a little bit from the first one. The main thing is it looks great. It runs great. It's got co-op. Like, you can hop in with your friends. It's simple, easy fun. It's all people need. Sparking Zero.
Honestly,
it's Tenkaichi 4. And it looks great. And they added some cool stuff like what if stories. Awesome. They didn't need to. They added it because why not? It's going to be. It's going to be fucking great.
Honestly, but I think Toho, they've seen the like cost of games go up tremendously over the past like 8 years or so. And they're just like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to have to develop a game that's going to cost us like potentially $200 million that might not ever break even.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I get it. Doesn't mean you guys don't suck for not utilizing your IP. you know?
You know, I think crowdfunding like could be a good idea.
Psychonauts 2. That's how they started.
I think it could work. Just me thinking about it as somebody who, if I saw a game like Knights of the Old Republic, the remake, if I saw that on, a crowdfund site, I'd 100% fund it. Because I know what they're trying to do. I know what's coming. Cool. Take all the money. Take as much time as you need. Like, make it work, It sucks to think that might be an option.
I mean, the only time really that type of crowdfunding is kind of needed is when the development studio doesn't have a name studio back them.
Yeah, like a publisher, like a big publisher. Yeah.
Yeah. So like for Psychonauts 2, right? Because I backed that back in December of 2015, I think is when that was first announced. And that was on Fig. That was on that Kickstarter website. Um, but they weren't associated with Microsoft yet. So they were still like a kind of regular publisher. They did Broken Age, which was crowdfunded, and then they're like, "Hey, we want to do Psychonauts 2," and I'm like, "I just take my money."
Yeah.
Because the first game is one of my favorite games of all time. I love it to death. The second game is one of my favorite games of all time. I love it to death. So I'm glad that I was able to experience both of those games. But obviously, without the potential of crowdfunding, they wouldn't have never made the game.
Also, I think
Because
they maintained a lot of control over it coming into Xbox with the funds already gathered. So Xbox didn't have to throw a lot at them. They could say, "Oh, you're already making this. Cool. We'll publish it under us." Like, awesome. We're not going to try and jam some microtransaction bullshit and like.
No, because that's not what Double Fine does.
Yeah.
Like every single one of their games they've made has just been, again, masterpieces in my opinion. So they're solid. I love them.
Have you played Psychonauts 2? Is Dune 2 a 10 out of 10 or is it a 10 out of 10? Because those are the two options. Dude, I forgot that we picked this up. Look at this comic book cover of Batman. Dude,
that's some good shit.
That is so cool.
That's some good shit.
I feel like that's half of the joy of looking at comics is the art. Like
the covers, yeah.
Yeah, the covers. I'm like, it's like when I look at wine bottles. That's how I pick the wine bottle I'm getting. Is let me see the art. Let me see the label. How cool is it?
It's like a deer getting shot through the neck with an arrow. You're like, I'll buy that wine.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck?
You put Optimus Prime on a wine bottle, I'm there.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Transformers 1 also came out in theaters.
Dude, I haven't seen it, but I mean, somebody's like, the marketing team should be fired. I agree. They marketed it. Marketed it as this goofy kiddie, like Nickelodeon type movie. And it's not. I've seen clips of it. I've been spoiled to it. That's fine. It's a Transformers movie. I know what happens. Oh my God. They could have made so much more if they had marketed the important
Listen, man,
parts.
I'm telling you, a lot of these companies want these projects to fail, man. So they don't market them like they do. They don't like push any, TV vids, any like pre-rolls. They don't do that shit. They just throw up a trailer. It'll get a couple million views in like a couple of days, whatever, and they go, "Oh, this is what people want," But then I'm like, dude, if you would have said from the beginning, like, "Hey, this was something that we're doing a little bit different," I'm just like, why did they do this shit, man?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I can't stand it. Oh, they may be remaking the War and Fall of Cybertron games. There was
those.
Yeah, because they came out on PS3 and 360, I believe.
Yeah, but I think they are bringing those back to like Steam too.
Right, but there was also what was it? It was like a job. There were job listings that came out for, or it was an article. It was like some inside leaks about a new project, which I think the first game, War for Cybertron, would have to be remade. And then Fall of Cybertron could be a remaster because that one still plays well even today.
Interesting.
But man, I would love that because you can only play the campaign right now. I have Fall of Cybertron.
Yes.
And like the campaign's great, but I'd love to hop into, escalation or the multiplayer, but of course the servers are down. So
listen, at this point, man, just remake Evolve.
Yes. My God.
Bring peak 4v1 gaming back.
Evolve is so good.
I still have a download. On Steam, and I'm in the Discord, so whenever there's like something going on or some type of whatever, I'm just like, oh, dude, I'll hop in. I'll play like a little bit. you know?
I love that game so much. See, there's so much money in gaming. Just give the people what they want. Oh man, but I can't wait for Sparking Zero, man. Monday.
It's gonna be so good.
Did you pre-order the early?
No.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be playing Thursday.
Yeah. It's gonna be good. Did you see that Rhyme Style's just been like I'm buying people copies. I'm like, that's awesome.
I listen, man. You know, when you build your whole like fan base around like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball related things, you know what I'm saying? You kind of have to stick your neck out a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
But like people have just been posting like, oh, you know, this one guy, he's like, I'm door dashing to pay for Sparking Zero, and Rhyme just sent him the money. Like, get the deluxe edition. That is so cool. Like, good on you, Rhyme.
Some real shit, man.
Yeah. That's again what Alex Hormozy, the big online businessman, he's just like, don't give and then ask. Just give, continue to give, and then people will willingly just want to give back.
Absolutely.
You won't have to ask. Just constantly give value, and then people will want to throw shit at you.
Man. I was saying in other bad gaming news, unfortunately, Nintendo has, well, I said bad.
Oh,
not the worst thing ever.
Not catastrophic.
Yeah. Nintendo has sent the developers of the other Switch emulator, because it was Yuzu, that was the big one at the beginning of this year, and then now the creator of Ryujinx, the other Switch emulator, has received a cease and desist from Nintendo to stop making the emulator. So this tells me two things. One, as per usual, Nintendo sucks for being such a like family friendly facing like corporation. Awful, terrible fucking company, right? Yeah, great games. Yeah, like long lasting games. Terrible company. And two, probably that means the Switch 2 announcement is coming very, very soon.
Yep. Dude, that's why people emulate. If your console was able to run better than like a smart fridge, people wouldn't emulate.
I mean, like 4 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, dude. Like you release something on par with like a Steam Deck, people won't emulate. That's why she'll be playing Dave the Diver. And I'll just, you know, when she's done, I'll hop in the store to see if there's anything on sale. Just opening the online store, it's a loading screen. I'm like, dude,
takes forever.
Are you kidding me? And this is the Switch OLED, you know, like this is why they emulate. It runs terribly. It's so slow. Like, come on. Why would you think otherwise when we have PS5s and Series X's and PCs? Of course they're going to run it on that.
I mean, it's been 7 years since the Switch came out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Almost 8. March of next year, it will be 8 years.
And I mean, like, even with other consoles, like the PS4, cool, they dropped the Pro, which was an upgrade in hardware. What did the Switch OLED upgrade? The screen?
Screen, battery. That's it.
Cool. Like
Nintendo.
Like, come on.
Listen, man. You know. Oh, and I forgot the Power World shit. They're suing the developers of Power World.
I saw that on the
patent infringement.
I think it's based on the catch, the ball and catch gameplay. I think that's what the patent's under. Which
I'm like, man, that's very like. You really have to say like, hey, this is our thing.
I found out that it is legal to change the patent before filing a suit. I don't get that.
Listen,
like, hey,
this is
let's change this to make it more in our favor, then sue them. That makes no sense.
I'm telling you, when you have money, this is the shit you can get away with. When you're broke, you're always taken advantage of by the system, by somebody else. You know, when you have money, this shit is just, you do what you want.
Yeah.
You can go after YouTubers. You can fucking send cease and desist letters to, which is legal, by the way. Emulation is 100% legal. But yet somehow, because it's Nintendo and people are afraid of the lawyers and shit, they say, yeah, you know what, I can't. And I don't blame them, right? Because that's the last thing I'd want is fucking some asshole breathing down my neck about the legality of my code. You know,
it's like having that headache dealing with all that shit. Like, not many people are going to want to deal with that.
So they just roll over, get it done with. I'm like, listen, man, these motherfuckers Nintendo needs an awakening, like a rude awakening.
Yeah.
They need to lose something here to like, get them back on the straight and narrow, man, because they just been fucking the past, like, that's all I've been hearing the past, like, 4 years, is just the garbage that Nintendo continues to, like,
they're the
put
real
out.
ones with no competitor.
Absolutely.
See, PlayStation and Xbox, as much as people think they are still competitors, they can't slack too much. Nintendo can, because there's no one doing anything. Look at their games. Their 8-year-old games are still $60. Like,
and
they can
like
do
crazy,
whatever they want.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I'm sure the Switch 2 is coming soon. Like in the next, 6 months? If that.
Probably by the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Announce it before, Christmas, and then coming, spring 2025 or something.
First quarter of 25. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And then, oh, dude. Dragon Age the Veilguard. Halloween Day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I took the day off. I'm going to be playing it. It's going to be great. I ordered a Batman mask. I found a $150 Deadpool mask on Etsy, which I will get at some point. Not now.
Jesus.
But it's like a very high quality. It's like weathered. It's like a full-on helmet. It looks great. But
interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited. We went to a fruit shed festival today.
Mm-hmm.
There's this whole street. There's one dude bought. He's like a contractor. Opened a nursery, like where people buy plants. Opened a cafe to feed his employees, which now is a full-on restaurant. And then bought like the next quarter mile, and it's just like little shops, a brewery, another restaurant, a paint and wine place. It's just this big street full of little businesses. I'm like, this is so cool. Went and walked around there. Dude, I've never in person seen one. I saw the big barbecued turkey legs at a booth today. Dude, that shit is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Like, this dude was out there grilling. He was just whipping them out, throwing them on there. I'm like, holy shit, they're massive. They were $18 because
worth it.
Yeah, it's like food truck food, but God damn, it was massive. I'm like, that's got to be like 120 grams of protein right there. Shit's weighing like 5 pounds. So
that was smoked awesome. Turkey leg, man.
It smelled amazing. Like, oh yeah, it was great.
That's what we do. Like when after November is done and Thanksgiving's finished, you find turkeys on sale for like super cheap, right? Like less than $1 per pound, Mm-hmm. So we'll buy like 3 or 4, put them in the deep freeze, and then just continuously throughout the year we'll smoke them. We'll have smoked turkey. We'll make like a bunch of shit. I'm just like, that's how you live, man. You gotta look for the deals.
Yeah.
It's like the prime rib that we buy around Christmas time too, because that shit will be on sale like crazy cheap.
Really?
Yeah, you get like, I remember we went to, forgot where we went to, but I bought it was like, 18 pounds of prime rib or something like that for like $60 or something like.
Wow,
like
that's so cheap.
But it was only one per person, right? So when they come up and they asked my mom, it's like, oh, are you guys gonna be checking out together? I'm like, no. My mom goes, no, yeah, that's my son. I'm like, why did you say that?
Yeah, come on, we could have got 2.
Could have got 2, man.
Damn.
But we just cut those up. We freeze them. We have prime rib for like months.
Damn. That is so good. Oh my God.
You gotta hit the penny savers, man.
I know. That's why I love Winco. They got good prices on meat. Like we got a like 4 ribeyes, like big, separated out. I think it was like $20.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, usually ribeyes are expensive. It's like 2 for like 40.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a good deal. But
mm-hmm.
Good deals on meat, man. It tastes different. You just cooking it up and you're like, this was cheap. And the meat is not cheap.
Exactly.
It's great. What do y'all think about cheap meat? Y'all like cheap meat? If you do, go down and subscribe.
What y'all think about cheap meat? Well, I got some cheap meat for you.
Oh, man. I can't believe it's already October.
and it's still fucking 100 degrees.
Dude, it was terrible today. Like, oh,
I hate this weather, man. I fucking
Yeah.
hate it, dude.
we were only out for 3 hours, 4 hours, and man, we got home and we were exhausted. Like, all we did was walk around, drink, and eat. There's no reason to be tired. It's the heat, man. Hit 100 degrees at like 4. It's almost the middle of October. It should be 70 degrees. Like, come on.
I know when we hit that, what was it, like last Tuesday, it was like 100 degrees or something, like 102, 103 or something.
Yeah.
I looked up what the temperature was a year ago. It was 67 degrees that day a year ago.
Dog.
So,
I can't wait to move.
Can't stand this shit, man.
California.
And I got sick, so it's been even worse for me because like it's just been hot, and I've just been like today I woke up and I'm like I woke up and I got out of bed and I went to go take a poop, and like as I was walking to the toilet, I'm just like, I'm getting lightheaded, man. This shit's crazy.
It's like that, that desert fever. Like, oh man. Start imagining the bathroom door is like a soda machine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Good old Mojave Wasteland. What's that perk from New Vegas?
I don't know. I haven't played New Vegas.
Huh? Wild Wasteland.
I wasn't a Fallout person.
Huh?
I played 3 for like an hour, and then I think I got bored.
Well, to be fair, 3 is just fucking green.
Wait, is it 3? Where there's the town built around the nuke?
Yes, Megaton.
Yeah,
that's the one set in DC.
Yeah, okay.
That's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wild Wasteland. That's what the perk is. So when you pick up this perk, taking this trait adds and or changes certain random encounters and locations which would not appear the same in game without the trait. Events and locations modified and added by the trait are indicated as such by unique sound effect and an on-screen message with an image of the Vault Boy with spirals for eyes identical to the trait's icon. So it gives you a bunch of different like options for different encounters, different whatever, just by picking that perk.
Interesting. So
it adds like jumbled. A wacky element to the game almost,
That sounds pretty cool.
Great game.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, but even even now it's still likes to crash.
Yeah. Dude, I'm just downloaded Red Dead Redemption 2. Because I never finished that.
Great game.
And then
still my longest play session, man. 18 hours to finish up that game, Red Dead 2.
Dang. Oh, and then Cyberpunk. Okay, I'm
playing that again right now.
I have the something edition. It's sealed on PS4, and I know there's a free upgrade. Mm-hmm. But I really want to get it on PC so I can play it on my Steam Deck. But I have it sitting there that I can play on PC or PS5, and I'm like, I can't justify.
One of my coworkers, he just finished up The Witcher 3, and I was talking to him about it because I remember beating that game, and he was like, he's like, I got to buy Cyberpunk now, though. I was like, dude, I got my Xbox copy. I was like, I just give it to you. He's like, oh, hell yeah. So I'm like, let's just take it, man. I bought it when it was like $8 or something like that, like a month after it came out.
Dang.
Like it was just like shitty cheap. So,
yep.
Because I have the collector's edition that comes with like the statue and all the art and shit for PC. And then I bought that because I plan to play it on console again. Yep. When it comes just to like get all the achievements and shit like that. It was like $8, like can't beat that. And I never played it.
Yeah. So. I think this edition I got was like $12 at a GameStop, and I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I'm currently playing through that again. God damn, is that game fucking phenomenal, man. It's my first time playing it on Steam too, so that's fun.
I feel like it'll hit me. I'll get far enough into where I get it. And I'm like,
no, all you gotta do is like the first big like mission. And you're just like, oh, I understand. I get it now.
Yeah. I feel like I didn't ever get that far. So
because the amount of like shit that this game has, it's fucking incredible, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the middle of like a couple storylines. I'm like, fuck, this shit's good, dude. And like you'll walk by and like, and we were talking about the first person, right? How you weren't like such a big fan of the first person, but I'm telling you right now, there is no other way to play this game. absolutely no other way to play this game. Because when you're having you're in a cutscene with somebody and you're sitting down next to them and you're fucking looking them like it's like I'm looking at another human.
Right.
When they're sitting right there and I'm looking in the eye and they're telling me about like, this is the mission we're doing, this is the gig, that's what they call it, the gig. I'm like, is this a person? Am I being that sucked into this world? But then I go, no, it's the first person. You know what I'm saying? Then like, there's something so special about this game just being is fucking phenomenal. It's such a fucking fantastic game. I don't care what anybody says. This is one of the best games of all time. And if you have been shitting on this game because of its release or whatever, you need to be quiet and play this game.
Yeah. I just saw another video where a guy was like, can we acknowledge that Cyberpunk 2077 is just an amazing game?
Dude, there's nothing else to say about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to hop into it because I know it. I know it's good. I tried the like trial after the big update, the 2.0 update, and I was like, whoa, this is cool. So I know it's good. I will.
Because when I'm like, one of my favorite things to do in this game is I'm playing a Netrunner build, so it's just kind of like more of the hacking. But I also have spec'd into like pistols, revolvers, and stuff like that. My favorite thing to do, damn, is you'll run and you'll slide and you do like a slide and you pull out your gun and time will slow down. You just go and like shoot like 4 people and they're just like dead. Just like something about that.
Oh yeah, dude, bullet time is just.
Oh yeah, and that's not even like with a Sandemistan. That's just straight like. There's a perk that you get where if you pull out your gun, you aim, you slow down time for like a little bit. So.
Oh, that's great. It reminds me of Horizon Forbidden West. If you aim down the sights with a bow and then hit R3, you slow down. And it's like, oh god, I love it.
I gotta finish that deal. Oh, speaking of fucking remake, Horizon Zero Dawn's getting just a remaster. Listen, Sony's at it again, man. It's their 15th remaster of this generation alone.
Yeah, I could deal with most of them. Last of Us 2 did not need one. Neither does this. Zero Dawn still looks good. So,
and then the fucked up part is that they removed it, so they delisted Horizon Zero Dawn from Steam, because they're going to implement the mandatory logging in with your PSN or whatever.
Oh, that's bullshit. So if you didn't,
and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, as somebody who already is, like, I'll just fucking sign in. Like it's not a problem for me personally because I already have an account. But for other players, other people, I'm like, man, they really are just denying a very specific set of people from playing their games. Because the overlap of countries where PSN isn't allowed is pretty large, from what I understand. So I'm like, imagine losing out on sales because of that potentially. It's like, why are we even implementing that in the first place?
Yeah. Again, it's not like they get more money by doing that.
But they want your data.
Yeah. Assuming your data is legit. If I had to make an account just because, like, who knows what kind of shit I'm plugging in?
Well, there's probably a bunch of telemetries and shit like that in there that they get from you too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hours played, time played, duration played in a single playthrough.
Maybe that's the data they want instead of like personal data. It's more just like game tracking.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Because if you can go to your general audience, right, and you could say like, hey, 18% of the players got 26% of the way through the game before they gave up. And then 32% of players got 38% of the way into the game before they gave up. You could say, well, what do we need to fix here to increase playtime, increase longevity, right? Increase retention, increase sales for the next game. Because I hated the first Horizon game. I did not enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Gameplay was fine, okay-ish. Wasn't a big fan of like the combat like weapon system because there's just a lot of weapons that you kind of like bolt casters and tripwire things and hunter bows and all kinds of weird shit. I'm just like, I just want a thing that hurts other things, but then playing Forbidden West, I'm like, okay, all right, solid fucking game, looks gorgeous, absolutely fantastic. I'm playing it on PC. Oh my god,
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That is one of the best looking games, period.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
The engine they're using is just top notch.
I believe it's the Decima engine, I believe is what they use. It's the same one that Death Stranding ended up using.
I think it's gonna have that same effect that Arkham Knight still has today. Arkham Knight still looks incredible. I think we're gonna look back in 10 years and be like, God, look how good Forbidden West still looks.
Fucking great goddamn. Oh, Arkham Knight. Oh man, that game. I know when it came out on PC, it played like hot trash.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck, that game was good.
Yeah,
I picked it up for like a month after it came out. I got it for like $3 on like a key website.
Yeah.
Because I was like, eventually it'll get updated. And then it did. I was just like, oh, I can play this game.
Dude, all the Arkham games are good.
Absolutely, dude. Arkham City is in my top 10. That shit's so good.
They are all fantastic. And I don't know why people hate on Arkham Origins. I know it's because of the reveal, the Black Mask just turns out to be Joker.
Yeah.
Who cares? The game is badass. That's where they introduced the crime scene where you rebuild it.
Christmas game of all time.
Yeah, dude. Come on.
Plus that cutscene with Bane where Batman's hiding in the elevator.
Yeah,
and Bane just pulls him down. It's like, that's real shit, man.
It's so good. Ooh. Is that better than Miles Morales, though? Because that's also a Christmas game.
Yes. As somebody who's played both, yes.
I know. That's a close one, though. Miles Morales is good. Really good.
It's okay. I wasn't a huge fan of it compared to the regular Spider-Man game.
Really? Oh, man. Yeah, that one's really good.
To be fair, it was the first game I played on my PS5 when I got it back on release in Thanksgiving of 2020.
Yeah.
So that was the first game I put it in and played, and I was like, man, this game actually looks amazing, But I don't know, the charm, I don't know how to describe it, man.
It wasn't as good as Spider-Man 1.
No.
Because the story for that game is so fucking good. In the end, oh my God, punches you right in the soul.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you ready? This is a Spider-Man game.
Listen, man, this is what you get when you have the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. You know what I'm saying? That's just another famous IGN review at it again.
I see that clip get memed on so hard still. It is so funny. Oh my God.
That's just a bold thing to say, man.
Yeah. It's like I know you're trying to sound like a compliment, but
yeah.
But it doesn't feel like one. Yeah, just no. You don't get to review the next Spider-Man, my guy.
Not if it's got Miles in it. We gotta keep him away from. Got to keep that guy away from Miles, man.
He's on the no review list.
Oh, that's right. We talked about it a little bit on Friday, but I finally watched Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Oh,
finally, after many months, I've been mostly spoiler free. The only big thing that has consistently popped up on my feed and kind of in my zeitgeist is the Madonna "Like a Prayer." The orchestral chorus version, which is, dude, listen.
Yeah.
We had Celine Dion for the first two movies,
Amazing. Amazing. Dude, Celine Dion. Fuck.
Listen, national Canadian treasure that lady is, right?
Yep. Right up there with Ryan Reynolds.
Absolutely. Yeah, because they're Canadian.
Yeah.
Which was great, by the way. Nice pool, great touch. I was like, how is he gonna get the dog, man? And then he gets shot. He goes, oh, he'll be fine. He's gonna regenerate. He goes, regenerate. Shit was so good. And he takes him out. He's like, hold him up as a buddy. He keeps getting shot. He's like, I will say it. I will live. What a great fucking scene, man.
Oh God.
That whole movie was like, I don't like saying fever dream, but man, it wasn't close.
Dude, just every every 5 minutes there's something that they throw out. It's like, what?
I like the scene with Johnny Storm where he was talking the shit. He goes, I would never say something like that. And then they go back and they rewind the fucking Deadpool rewinds the footage. He says all those exact. I'm just like, all right, you know.
Oh my god.
Wolverine, Logan, fucking excellent.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Cassandra Nova, solid choice.
Yeah, she played that. She played a good, like, creepy, because she's basically like villain Charles.
Yes.
And man, she does it well. Like that hand through the head thing.
The hand shit, bro. Oh my god, it's disgusting.
Oh yeah,
it's so like, cool.
Yeah. That gave you, like, you know, like that sitting on your balls feeling, like,
so everything's tight.
Oh,
you just,
yep.
Ooh.
Stop. I can't look away, but I should look away.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I do the fight scene in the minivan. What is it? The Honda Odyssey.
That shit was great.
So good. Yeah. I can't wait. I want more Deadpool. Whatever it is. I want more. I
imagine we'll get something here pretty soon-ish. I imagine of like, oh, Deadpool 4 confirmed or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
I like all the different variations of Deadpool. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. I've heard the Agatha All Along show has been doing really well, which makes sense, dude. Wanda and Vision was great.
WandaVision was fantastic.
Yeah. And then the Penguin show,
big post MCU like show, is pretty fucking solid.
Yeah. Dude, it was so fun watching each episode and then finding that little tiny, what is that?
Somebody calling?
Yeah. I don't know who. The little, like, hints where it would show Wanda, you know, oh, what is that? Or the world's crumbling. Like the little, oh, reality's not what it is.
Yes, exactly. You see her trying to keep up the facade. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So she's pretending like everything's all cool, but then something will happen and she'll kind of like switch back.
Yep. And then it's like, oh, Agatha always shows up right at the right moment. And then, oh, why is Vision like picking up this weird stuff? It's just, as you piece it together, like, oh, gave you that feeling. So that's super cool.
Great series.
Yep.
And then you were talking about the Penguin.
Oh yeah, I've heard that's not surprisingly incredible.
Listen, Colin Farrell, man, that guy is something else.
Yeah.
Every time I see him in the prosthetic, I'm like, it's fucking insane. You know, he does not look like Colin Farrell.
If you had shown me, like, if you hadn't have told me, that's Colin Farrell, that's this actor in makeup, I don't know if I ever would have picked up on it. It's so good. He's so good.
No, it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen, I can't remember. It's like the second movie after, it wasn't Red Dragon. I think it was just Hannibal, but Gary Oldman plays the character in that movie, and it doesn't like, I could tell it's Gary Oldman, but I don't think nobody else could like really be like, yeah, that's Gary Oldman.
I love that
because his face is all like, you know, I don't want to go into too much detail, but essentially he was tricked by Hannibal Lecter to like carve his own face and like eat bits of it, you know, or something like that.
Damn.
So yeah, his face is all fucked up, and it's like the lady who, again, I'm not saying this to be mean, it's like the lady who was attacked by that monkey, right? Who was on the Oprah show. You remember her?
Right.
It's like that. Like just these big chunks are missing off the face and shit. I'm just
okay.
This is crazy that this is a human.
Right.
You know? And like Gary Oldman, I'm just like, dude, he looks fucking terrifying in this. And like, you really can't tell because he's not even credited. He's not credited in the credits. You know? I'm like, that's impressive.
That's wild. Holy shit. Oh, dude, they're making a Terrifier 3.
Oh. We don't need that shit, man. We really don't.
Part of me wants to go back and watch the first two because I don't ever think, I know we've talked about it, I don't think anything could be worse than Human Centipede.
No, it can be. I've seen the second one.
What about the first one?
First one's not as bad as the second one. The second one, there's literally I'm not gonna spoil what happens, but there's a very extended duration of something happening that goes on for like 10 minutes almost, and it's just so shocking, and it's just like by the end of it, you're just completely, I was done after that, man. I couldn't.
All right, maybe I'll just do the first one then.
I don't even recommend the first one, but it's not as bad as the second one is. So,
yikes! All right, yeah, maybe not. What do y'all think? You seen Terrifier 3?
No.
If so, I'm sorry. Let us know how it is.
Listen, man, I knew somebody. I was training a guy at work, and I asked him like, "Oh, like what do you listen to, and like what do you watch any movies, any shows?" And he told me he listens to a band called the Suicide Boys, which is kind of like a rap kind of rap group essentially. I'll just And then I was like, okay, that's some pretty dark shit to like listen to because I also listen to them, And then he was like, yeah, my favorite movie is Terrifier. I go, oh, so you're one of those guys. I'm just like,
damn.
Just like, yep. And he's talking about all these weird like horror films. He's like, oh man, you gotta watch this like crazy French horror film. I'm like, I ain't watching shit, motherfucker.
Those 2 facts told me everything I need to know.
And he was former military. I'm like, oh, this guy has killed somebody, probably on domestic soil too.
He watched Terrifier and went, I have an idea.
Yeah. I'm just like, yep, I'm cool, man. I get you. That's all I need.
Oh man. Okay, yeah, maybe not. Maybe I'll keep watching House.
Oh, House is so good, dude.
Dude, I've been binging it. I love something Hugh Laurie, is that his name?
Hugh Laurie, yeah.
Yeah, my God. What an actor. Whew.
He was great in Stuart Little.
I didn't see him in that. He was also in was it not Wonderland? Tomorrowland?
Oh,
yeah, Tomorrowland. Where basically all the geniuses like find a way to open a portal to like a alternate dimension where basically all the geniuses hang out.
It's like the Council of the Reeds from fucking
pretty much
Marvel,
or the like. It's like what is it, Rick? The Council of Ricks. Yeah, it's kind of like that too. Yeah. But yeah, man, he is great as House. Like,
I know. I watched that show like years ago, like probably over 10 years ago, and I'm just like, it shit's still so good.
When I was younger, I was like a hypochondriac when it came to medical shows. If I watched something, I'd immediately start panicking, like, fuck, what if that happens to me?
Bro, sitting at home, 8 years old. This guy's got AIDS.
Dude,
I must have AIDS.
That's how it was. Like, they'd find some crazy condition, and I would worry, like, what if I do something to get that? So I couldn't watch it for
completely
years.
Healthy 10-year-old, by the way,
Dude, I couldn't
in a coma in General Hospital. I might have a coma too. This way, at least you ain't got lupus.
Yeah, I was legitimately worried. Like, all right, I can't ever watch this because I'll start thinking about all the things that could be wrong.
That's why I'm glad I watched Scrubs first, because Scrubs, for being as good as it is as like a medical show, it's just fucking funny.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe
I'll watch that next.
Oh, dude, absolutely. The first, I think season, we don't count season 7, man. We only go up to season 6.
Oh, fair enough. So it's like the last season of Game of Thrones. We just don't watch that.
Yeah, because they end up going and teaching, at like a med school type thing, and it's just like, there's something wrong about this. You know?
It's kind of like the last season of Suits, or the last 2.
I've never seen that show.
Like, Harvey is the show, and he's still great, but they bring on, I don't know her name, Samantha. She's a character. She's like former military. She's a corporate lawyer, but she is the bitchiest character I've ever seen. Like, someone could say, again, this is a corporate lawyer. They know the game. She's former military, and somebody could like call her a very mild name, and she'll get so what the fuck did you just say to me? It's like, this isn't working. What you're doing here, you've set up the character to be something and they're not that. You are highly deviating from this. Like this is not working. I hate her. And it's not like Lewis where he's written to be hateable and then kind of redeeming. She's just hateable. So
I know. I've been rewatching True Detective, the first season with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. And you're not really supposed to like either of these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Because like at least Woody Harrelson's character, he's a womanizer. You know, he's cheating on his wife. You know, he's not coming home, and he's like leaving her to do all the shit at the house with the kids and shit like that. And then Matthew McConaughey's character is aloof. He kind of exists outside of his own brain. You know what I'm saying? He can't really focus. He's hard to talk to. He's a very like strong individual, right? To like speak to, you know, because he's talks a lot about like the universe and how we should exist and shit like that. It's just like you're not really supposed to like
deep all the
these.
time.
Yeah. But then when you actually get into the show and you're watching these characters interact with each other, you just go, they're kind of relatable a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how else to explain it, you know, but man, that shit is so good. I'm on episode 7 of 8. So I'll probably watch an episode after this and then maybe episode 8 tomorrow. But damn, that show's fucking good, man.
You should watch Suits, man. Listen, I'm telling you, no one could have convinced me a show about lawyers was entertaining.
I've seen the couple of the clips on TikTok, and it looks interesting.
Watch it. It's good. Like the cast is very strong. Yeah, man, it's just, I don't know, it's good.
Because it's got Meghan Markle in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that might be the only person I recognized before watching it. Oh, for a long time, dude, I didn't know that was Meghan Markle until like season 7.
Yeah.
And then I saw I think I was on Instagram and I saw like a picture of some news article with her on it. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Suits. Like, duh. But man, it's such a great show. Yeah, the main.
Yeah, I know. There's so much shit I gotta finish up watching. So I haven't finished up House of Dragons. I'm on episode like 3 of that.
I haven't even watched season 1, man.
Fucking all the anime that I'm missing out on. You know.
Yeah, that too.
A new one came out called Dan to Dan or Dan Dan or Dan to Dan or Denials or something. I don't know.
I thought that was the song in Dragon Ball Dan Dan.
I mean,
that might also be that.
Yeah, it probably is also that, but
let us know, folks. What do y'all think? Are you gonna watch Terrifier 3? Did you have a burning poop lately? Because I did.
Pizza.
What are y'all drinking? I polished off water, wine, coffee, and a probiotic soda in this 1 hour.
Well, I've been dehydrated, so I'm only drinking water, but I got some flavoring in here at least. So
yeah. Go down, do all the YouTube things. Subscribe for episode 44.
Tell us how big of a loser we are.
Yeah. Tell us how bros, what is it? Podcast equipment should be more expensive.
That's my favorite one, man. That's my favorite comment.
2 guys who sat around one day.
You should have a license to get podcast equipment.
Yeah.
I'm like, a microphone, a mixer, and headphones? Sure, I guess. I don't know who fucking, you know.
It's like, listen, you put the time into comment. We already won.
Exactly.
You gave us the time. We won. So, y'all have a good rest of your day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.